Hello there, Gunners around the world. Thank goodness we're back. It's been 2 weeks of the international break, some of the worst and longest days of our lives as football fans. But we're here and we're ready for the weekend. We're ready for Leeds. This is your blog on New Gunners matchday preview. We're back this Sunday with a trip to Leeds up to Elland Road. Something we've not done in the Premier League for goodness knows how long. A team managed by Marco Bielsa that are riding fairly high. I think if their fans would have been in the stadium, we'd have seen them a lot higher. But they're doing well. They're punching above their weight, I think it's fair to say. And they're going to be no mugs when it comes to taking us on. I think they're going to have a strong game plan. That's the way of their manager. He's highly respected, highly revered by the likes of Guardiola and Arteta, no less. And I think he's going to have plenty in store for us at a time that, let's face it, is not so great for us as a club. We come into this one on the back of a rotten defeat against Aston Villa in which we were taken apart. We don't need to go over that one again because I'd like to consign it to the dustbin of history and never have to think for a moment about Jack Grealish's calves pounding the turf at the Emirates again. But that said, it wasn't good. It was pretty damaging. I imagine it would have been pretty damaging for the squad. And it's one Arteta himself has explained that he'd like to have moved on from 24 hours after it happened. As it is, we've had to wait 2 weeks, 2 excruciating, pointless weeks. But we're back at it. We've got a chance to make it right. And it's important that we see a level of performance far and above, beyond what we saw at the Emirates against Villa. What we can expect from Bielsa's side is plenty of intensity, ferocious will to win. I think they're going to be closing us down hard. They're going to be chasing us hard. We had a taste of what they're about in the FA Cup clash last season. In the first half, we were overawed, I think it's fair to say. We didn't expect what they were going to bring to the table, and we almost paid for it. In the second half, Mikel got a grip on things, and we ran them into the ground, basically. But that first half should live long in the memory for them, and I hope they won't be as complacent as they were that day. Bielsa's side are going to be looking to press us quite intensely in the midfield to win the ball high up in those quick transitions. They're going to be looking in a lot of ways to replicate what Aston Villa did. And Mikel is going to have to be wise to that. He's going to have to be sharper. He's going to have to get his players on the front foot a great deal more. And he's going to have to address these attacking concerns that we all have. We're not creating. We're looking pretty sluggish. And if we're not careful, Leeds are going to take advantage of that. For Arsenal's part, it's not been a fantastic break for us. We've had Kolasinac and El Neni come back with positive COVID tests. So they're in isolation. I say come back, they could be in hotels in Egypt and Serbia, respectively. Would they have started this game? It's difficult to say, it's impossible to say, but it's certainly a pain in the backside that nobody needs. Add to that the rumours of a bust-up between David Luiz and Dani Ceballos in the training pitch. Things that we know happen all the time, but normally stay behind closed doors. David Ornstein at The Athletic got wind of it, put it out. It's just another ball ache for Mikel to have to deal with in public. I'm sure he'd rather not. I'm sure he'd rather it stayed where it was on the training pitch. It's not Danny's first incident. We know he had a bust up with Eddie in the pre-match warm-up a few weeks ago. And I'm sure it's an issue that no one would really like to have to deal with, but Mikel fronted up in the press conference. He gave it a touch of the Arsene Wenger's with his glasses and allergy. He didn't see it. Of course he did. But it's just another thorn in our side in this build-up in a game where we really need to be focused and fired up and ready to go. It's not entirely a negative, of course. People love a bit of fight, a bit of heart, a bit of competitiveness, and I think Mikel has brought that to the side. But it's a sideshow. It's a complete distraction. We need to be looking to win this one and start this one hard. We don't need to be worrying about distractions on the sidelines. That said, we seem to have a fairly full squad to pick from, your COVID emissions aside. Whether Willian starts this one is another matter to consider. As we know, he decided to fly away to Dubai over the international break, decided to have himself an all-important steak at the restaurant that all the footballers go to to have their meat salted by the Wally from Instagram. He's dressed it up as a business trip. It probably wasn't, but again, it's another distraction. It's not clear whether he'll be included in the squad. Mikel says he'd dealt with the issue and that they'd moved on. Does he punish him with a week on the sidelines? I don't know. If he does, I'm not sure we'd miss him too much in this instance, but he does offer some fresh legs at this time, particularly when guys are coming back from all corners of Europe, having played 2-3 international matches in the Nations League or international friendlies, whatever they may be. It's a squad option, if nothing else. What we'd like to see from Arsenal in this one, what all of us would like to see, I think, is some more attacking intent to get that balance much better in terms of attack and defence. I think defence, we're getting there, we're getting it sewn up. Aston Villa game aside, I think we can consider that a bit of an aberration. We're much tighter back there, we're among the best in the league now, but it's coming at a cost at the moment, and Mikel has to find a way to redress that. New players is one way of doing that, but that's not going to happen for a couple of months, perhaps not until next summer. So for the meantime, he has to find a way of getting that right, and we're going to need to see something more from the team, not least in terms of creating chances. We're going to need to see more from them putting those chances away. Against Villa, we had 2, if not 3, really good goal-scoring opportunities that we should have buried. So if we're not creating many, we've got to put away the ones that we do, particularly on the road, particularly against a team as energetic and lively as Leeds. There's no room for error here. In terms of key men for us this week, I've chosen Aubameyang. He had a bit of a rough one, sleeping on various airport floors. I think we've probably all been there, but it's not what you want for your top striker. 2 hours sleep halfway around the world, far from ideal. We need him fit and firing. I'm sure he'll be fine. The boss in his pre-match had nothing to suggest that there's any long-term implication for Aubameyang, but he's short of goals. This season he needs better service, he needs to be in better positions. This drought has got to end, I think. A good chance on Sunday to get 1, to get 2, to get back into some sort of rhythm, to get back in the mix among the leading goal scorers, because that's what he is. He's a goal scorer. He's been frustrated, as everyone has, with the lack of service, with his lack of involvement, and it's a bit of a waste of his talent. So we're going to need more from him. I think this weekend he's going to be more involved, and let's hope that results in the goals that he needs and that we need. From Leeds' perspective, the clear standout man and one to watch is Patrick Bamford. He's not the second coming of Lionel Messi, of course, but he does have 7 goals and 2 assists to his name this year, which is far and away better than anything we've managed to produce. He's putting away the chances they're making for him, and we're going to have to keep an eye on him. We're going to have to mark him close. He's not particularly tricky. He's not rapid fast, but he is smart and he's a good finisher. You don't score 7 goals without being those things, and I think we're going to have to watch him. We can't afford to let him get the sniffs of goal that he thrives on, particularly in and around the area. So he's going to be the one to watch for me. If we can keep him quiet, if we can starve him of chances, we stand a good chance of keeping a much needed clean sheet. Anything else to note for this one? We're both in pretty poor form. After a decent start, an electric start from Leeds, in fact. They've lost their last 2, they've lost 3 of the last 4. But then so have we. We're marginally ahead of them in the league, a couple of points. It really makes no matter at this stage of the season. But neither side is in particularly good form, and we'll be looking for something after this break to kick on. We can't let them use us as the game that kicks them back into life, as we so often have. We've made an absolute career out of giving teams and players the genesis of something, and that can't be the same on this occasion. We've got to keep Leeds in lousy form. We've got to kickstart our own season, and we've got to shake ourselves out of this torpor. We've got to find some consistency. Leeds will be looking for the same, of course, but we should have too much for them. And I'm looking for a win. We've got to have a win. I know I was confident before the Villa game, but I'd like to think that's a one-off and we won't see that sort of nonsense again. There you have it. That's our pre-match for Leeds Arsenal this weekend. Those are some thoughts on how we see it playing out. Hopefully it's a win for us. It's one that's badly needed. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to kick on. I'll be doing some post-match hopefully Sunday night, if not Monday morning, so look out for that. As ever, you can find us on YouTube, on Twitter. Be sure to give us a like and a follow. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, whatever you want to do. Have a good one. We'll see you Sunday. Take care.